All right, good morning, fifth grade. Batten down the hatches and shake off those Monday sleepies. We are doing another test review, so check it out. Let's see what we're going to have here. So, starting off with a story problem. The first thing I want to talk about, you can't use an iPad on the test, but you can use your book. Any of these questions always have the little number in parentheses next to them. Remember, that tells you what lesson you could turn back to. Also, if it's a term that you don't remember, it also has a glossary, and you can look it up in the back, okay? So our first question right now, in Mako's pasture, there are 13 ponies and 19 cows. Altogether, how many animals are in the picture? Remember, you want to think about some plus some more equals a total. Well, 13 was some of the animals, 19 was some more, and they are asking you to find the total. Maybe you want to use an A for animals. Remember to look on both sides of the equal sign. This is what we call sometimes so easy it's hard. We're not actually isolating a variable on this, are we? We're just combining terms. 13 plus 19 is going to give us 32. So 32 equals the number of animals that are in the field. Not too tough for a Monday, right? All right, they're about all this easy, so let's check it out. Carrie worked on homework for 60 minutes. She spent half the time working on her math. How many minutes did Carrie work on her math? Well, half the time. Half of 60 minutes. So what is half of 60 minutes? Well, if you can't do that, remember what we started talking about in mental math, the old cover up the zero trick. What's half of 6? And if you still can't answer that, you better turn to that chart and listen too, my friends. But half of 6 is 3. So half of 60, if you cover up a 0, so half of 60 is 30. Still not too tough for a Monday. Let's keep on keeping on. Check this one out though. It says use digits to write 313,605. And if you turn to lesson 7, you would see the place value chart, except it's not going to call it the no-name group like Mr. Hines does. So you've got 313 in the thousands place, right? So I better write a 3, a 1, and a 3. There is 313. If you have a comma after the word, you need a comma after the number. And then 605. Remember, you got to use all 3 of these places in the no names. So 605. That's 6 in the hundreds, 0 in the tens, and 5 in the ones. Okay, still not too tough. Let's keep moving on. Use the digits 4, 5, and 6 once each to make an even number greater than 600. So the first thing we want to pay attention to, we want the number to be greater than 600. So what digit could I put here in the front to make it greater than 600? Well, I'm going to start with my 6 right here, right? So 600 something is going to be greater than just plain old 600. The other thing I need to know that they want us to make it an even number. Even numbers you determine by the last digit. Which one should I put for my even last digit? 4 or 5? Hopefully you know I'm going to use 4, right? And so you only have one other digit for the middle. Let's go ahead and put 5 there. 654 is a digit 654 is a even number greater than 600. Check out this one. First time algebra has shown up on the test. Find the missing addend. Okay, what am I doing first? Combining terms or isolating a variable? Doesn't look like I have terms to combine on the right side here. I don't have terms to combine on my left side here. I better just go ahead and isolate. Now, here's a mistake some people are making now that we are doing both, adding and subtracting. I see some people when they're trying to isolate, they won't follow the rules of addition. The rules of addition, you don't have to worry if the first term is the letter or the second term. All you have to do is kick it so hard that the plus sign breaks, right? So you're going to change plus into minus. 57 minus 27. Now you have some terms to combine though over here on the right side of the equal sign, right? And I'm just going to drop down that combined answer when it's time, because I read equations left to right. So m's not underlined, so I can go ahead and write in my m. Equals not underlined, so I can go ahead and do that too. But 57 minus 27, hey, that is underlined, so I don't want to write that over. I'm just going to go ahead and write 30. M equals 30. Check out this one. Which digit in 54,879 shows the number of hundreds? Well, I have it listed here. Hundreds is your third spot from the right. So if you wanted to count over, is it the 9? Not the 7, but the 8 is in the hundreds place, right? So which digit shows the number of hundreds? The 8 does. Check out this one. And I guarantee that the one on the test you're going to do won't be these exact commands, so make sure you read it carefully. But I'll show you how to read it and what to do. Think of two even numbers, and I always recommend picking small ones. I'm going to use 2 because I know it's even and can't make it any smaller than that. And I'm going to use 4. And then it tells you add them together. So 2 plus 4, welcome back to second grade. Hey, that's 6. And then lastly is the sum. The answer when we add, is that answer odd or even? Which one is going to be? Hey, 6 is even. I know that. So that's not too tough, right? All right, compare. Maybe you can look at this and know it. Maybe you need to work them out. 28 minus 8. What would be the answer there? That's 20. 27 minus 7, if you don't know off the top of your head, that is also 20. So in essence, you are comparing 20 to 20. So what type of comparison symbol do you make? The equal sign, I'm hoping you are saying. Okay, check out this one. Brian is second in line. I highly recommend just drawing yourself out some stickmen. And it doesn't even matter which end of the line. I'm kind of a left to right type of guy, so I'm going to put a good old B on this one for Brian. Sally is 7th in the same line, so let's find Sally. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to put a big old S right here for Sally. But look what they are asking you for. How many people are between them? And when you count the number between them, sometimes people want to count Brian and Sally. You don't count Brian and Sally if they're asking you how many are between them. How many are between them? That's only going to be 4. Welcome to ordinal numbers. And lastly, I kind of thought to myself, did I want to do this? But I still see some people struggling in subtraction. The number one secret, line them up nice, neat, and straight. 99% of the subtracting problems we have is people just not being able to read their own handwriting. And then you always start in the ones column. Can you start with 0 and take away 6? No, you cannot. So you have to go to your neighbor. His neighbor has 0 as well. So he has to go to the next neighbor. And the number 2 problem I see is people who skip these steps and try to do it all in their head. So you're going to borrow 1 from the 6 and pay the neighbor, and it makes 10. Then you're going to go and borrow from the 10 and write in 9. Then you're going to go and pay the 1 to the other neighbor. The number 3 mistake I see, some people want to cross out this 10 and write a 9 here. But are you borrowing 1 to anybody? No, you're not. So just hold on to your 10 right there. 10 minus 6, hey, that's going to give us 4. 9 minus 5, that's going to give us 4 as well. And lastly, 5 minus 2, that sounds like 3 to me. Nice, neat, straight, and show all your steps is the secret to the success. Alright, so shouldn't be too bad right now. There is no Socrative quiz. I will let you know what I want you working on after the test. Alright, go slow. Double check your answers. The difference between an A and a B and a B and a C is usually those 5 extra minutes you put in. Alright,